Hello and welcome to a show in which we take enlightening excursions into current, contemporary and pertinent topics in culture, academics and life in general. We learn to use reason, sense and understanding in order to achieve our goals, hopes and aspirations in life. In these ways, we can avoid turning out mediocre or sounding odd and thus missing out on those opportunities there are in life. Before I go any further, let me ask you to like this program. Please do, especially if you like it, and even if you don't, let me know. Don't stop there, subscribe so that you'll be getting notification of many other interesting, pertinent topics that I have lined up for you. And watch right up to the end. This will be of great benefit to you and to me, especially to know that there are people out there interested in what I do. I will appreciate that greatly. Then, I do look forward to some interaction with you. So, go to the comment section below and let us engage. Let's have that conversation. Once again, welcome. I'm going to talk about tidbits that will help you improve your memory, will help you keep the information that you get, retain it in your mind and be able to recall it at will at a time in future. Then, what is the lesson of the cape? It is simply this. The earth gets warm by trapping the heat from the rays of the sun within the atmosphere. There's a canopy up there in the atmosphere that prevents the heat from escaping into the nothingness that is there in outer space. And when this one is retained here, this makes possible life for human beings, for animals, domestic or wild, for insect, birds, let's say all living organisms. Well, the same concept is there with the mind. That you receive information and by keeping it, by storing and retaining it, then retrieving it at will, you are able to remember, you are able to memorize things. So, if you are a student and you've been worrying how you can perform impressively in all exams for that matter, this episode is for you. If you are a parent wishing to improve your memory and also helping your child to do the same, this program is for you. Keep interested and watch right up to the end. If you are a teacher, I suppose you already know these tidbits about improvement of memory, but you have always wondered how you can help your students to improve their memory and therefore set them on that upward spiral in their study. This program is for you. Please watch right up to the end. So much for the cap on my head. Yes, as I remove it now. I really pity people who I hear many times again and again say, oh, and remind me, I have such a rotten memory. This is a weakness that is inadmissible. Nobody should say such a thing. The human mind is so great that it can do the improbable, the imponderable. On your part, you should not admit such a weakness. So, follow closely the tidbits that I will give, and then you will be able how to depend on your memory, and people will not refer to you as that scatterbrained or that harebrained person that will never remember, can never keep their word, can never keep a promise. We have to remind them. Monica Savage, in her article, The Actual Role of Memory in Study, has this to say. Memory has a fundamental role in life, reflecting the past as the past and offering the possibility of reusing all past and present experiences, as well as helping to ensure continuity between what was and what was going to be. And that is a very effective encapsulation of what the human mind is able to do and what you, in your part, should and must do. Most of us, I'm certain, are conversant with the computer, the workings of the computer. Specifically, what they call RAM, or random access memory. And this is what happened in a simple manner, that you put information, you store information in the computer, and then at the click of an icon or a button or part of the keyboard, you are able to access that memory. You are able to retrieve, the computer is able to retrieve from its memory where it kept that information, and then you have it for your use or that you need. The human mind is very much like that, but of course it surpasses in a very big way what the computer can do. What it does is that it is able to encode information. This means that you receive information from either a textbook or a person speaking to you, or watching television, documentary, listening to the radio, reading a textbook. In whichever way, the brain is able to encode that. And then it is able to store that information. That information will be stored in either the short-term memory or the long-term memory, and we're going to talk more about that. It stores it in its memory, where it will be retained. Then, when you need that information, you can recall it back. And that is the process. So see, encoding, storing, retention or retaining, and recalling or retrieval of that information. This is a process by which we improve our memory. As I had mentioned, the human brain has got both the short term and the long term. And we shall be seeing how to go about this, how you can lodge that information in your short-term memory and remember it, and also then have it, store it in the long-term memory, some information and knowledge and skills that you will be using maybe years hence. So that is the process that we are going to look into today. Before I get to the nitty-gritty, the 7 tidbits I promised you, let me remind you to like this program. Oh, and I hope you do. I hope you're liking it, and please watch right up to the end. Then don't stop there, subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell, then you'll be getting notified of more episodes, more interesting episodes that I have lined up for you. So please remember to subscribe. Then watch right up to the end. It will be of great benefit to you. And for me, I will appreciate it greatly, especially to know that there are people out there who are following what I do. It will motivate me to do even much more. Then I would urge that we can enter into an interaction by you making a comment on the comment section there below. So please remember that. Like, subscribe, watch, and comment. Tidbit number 1. Have a motivation for remembering. I think there are many areas in which we can find motivation. And I think the most important of which I have already mentioned, don't accept a weakness of your brain. It is capable of remembering everything. In fact, many great people, they remember things without any aid. And that is how they're able to plan and keep track of what they have been doing. You should be able to do the same. I guess if you're a student, you have a motivation, most likely being to go to the next level of education. If you're in lower grade or primary school, you want to get to secondary school. If you're in secondary school, you get to university. And to get to university of your choice, possibly to win yourself a scholarship or sponsorship, or get into a degree course of your choice, professional degree course. I mean, motivation can never be lacking for anybody. All you need to do is to feel, yes, I want to improve my memory, my ability to remember things. Tidbit number 2, have the intent to remember. Have the intent to remember. Right on the onset, tell your brain, I want to remember stuff. Tell it that. And it will respond handsomely. It will store that information. And when you need it, you will have it. Try this, attempt this. Your friends, don't tell people that I cannot remember people's names and faces. No, try to place a face to every name that you know. And when you meet them, try to call them by name. It's a very pleasant thing to do. And it's a good exercise for your brain. If you start with people, personally I can pride myself for having a knack of placing names to faces, and I remember people for a long time, and I believe it's good exercise for my brain. Do the same. Don't admit weaknesses, or rather, don't let your brain be lazy. Tell it, I want to remember everything that I need to remember. Then we have said that you encode and store information. If you want to succeed in retaining that information and being able to recall it, do it in bits and pieces, not everything. Do it in bits and pieces from your own experiences, from the events that you attend, from things that you listen to or watch. Store that information in bits and pieces. If it is for students, an important way to remember things is to study in short bursts of time. For students in secondary school, study in about 35 to 40 minutes, take a short break, then another 35 to 40 minutes, a short break. If you have that range of time, then learn information topic by topic. Topic by topic. For that is how knowledge is arranged. You in turn, don't think that I will do everything now, starting now and take in everything. No, it's not very much like a combine harvester. And I guess even a combine harvester will have to follow a process in able to do it. So, take in information in bits and you will be able to retain it better and be able to recall it. Then, tidbit number 4, where the situation allows, take or make notes. Take or make notes. I hope we know the distinction between the two. You take notes if the source is listening. If you're listening to somebody or watching this YouTube program, I hope you're taking notes as we go along. We make notes when the source is textual. You are reading a textbook or a magazine, whatever the case might be, or a journal, then you take the notes. This particularly is most important for people in learning situations. Yes, don't be passive and pensive as you take in this information. Be alert, be active by making and taking notes. We shall later talk about the techniques of note making, note taking. But even right now, what I would advise is this. Take in your raw notes. Your raw notes at first. So usually the main points, the headings, the topical sentences, just the main points with the minimum of information. And in which case you have been using abbreviations and symbols in order to hasten that process of note making or note taking. But don't stop there. Convert the raw notes that you take into refined notes. Refine them by writing them in grammatical language within the shortest time possible from the time you made the raw notes to refine them. I'm imagining for students in college, you may have been in a lecture and the next hour you are free. That is the best time to refine those raw notes. For students in secondary school, maybe the next hour may not be possible because of the arrangement of the timetable. But at least make sure within 24 hours, not less than 48 hours, you have turned your raw notes into refined notes. Then don't stop there. Have a revision plan. Have a revision plan. By the way, by taking raw notes, then refining them, you will have lodged that information into your short-term memory. It's already there in your short-term memory. But because you're interested in having it for the long term, this is why you enter into a revision plan. And this should be that maybe in a week's time, in a week's up to 1 month, go over those notes. Again, in 3 to 6 months, again go over these notes. And then on the eve of every test or exam, go over those notes if you're being tested on that topic. Now, don't stop there. It's not just poring over the notes. No, each time you go over those notes, use the margin or another notebook to condense those notes, most likely into bullets. So the first week, you condense those notes into bullets. When you come in the next revision in your plan, between the 3 to 6 months, as I said, again, you will condense those notes into fewer bullets. And this will continue so that by the time you're getting to the examination, you're just reading a bullet or two, but it sets your mind rolling as you remember everything that you've learned about that particular topic. And that is the way you lodge that into your long-term memory. So please, let's get this. Take or make notes. Refine the notes. Condense them each time into bullet points. And you will have that. Even long past the examination, that knowledge or skill, you still have it in your mind, in your brain, in your memory. And it is the way to acquire knowledge. Then, tidbit number 6. Develop your vocabulary. It is said that word power is real power. Word power is real power. Therefore, the need to improve your vocabulary. Because look at it this way. If you're the kind of person that every difficult word that you come across or is said to you, if you cannot understand it, every other concept, you cannot understand it because of your low level of vocabulary, you'll definitely not be able to remember stuff. You cannot remember things that you do not understand. It affects your comprehension. So how do you do this? Everybody, make it part of your objective to learn as many words as you can. As many new words as possible. I would advise that you make a log in which you fit in every new word that you learn. And then learn it in terms of spelling, meaning or meanings. Many of them will have a multiplicity of meanings. And then the context or context in which they can be used. Don't leave it at that. Learn synonymous words and antonyms. Names that are opposite in meaning. Synonyms are those that are similar in meaning. So make it a habit of doing that. And if you do that, your vocabulary will improve. And you will be able to learn better. And what's most important, you'll be able to memorize stuff that you learn and remember it and recall it or retrieve it each and every time that you need it. It's a sure way of improving your memory. So it will pay handsome dividends to learn new words. Tidbit number 7. Learn about the world around you. Learn about the world around you. I know this may sound discourteous or impolite, but don't be an ignoramus. Don't be an ignorant person. So what do? Keep abreast of the news, the latest trends, and fashions. As well, make sure you know or you learn about the latest technological and scientific advances, and of course even other spheres of human ventures. Also learn. Don't be left behind. Let me bring to mind that these days we are in the information age. And with the advent of the internet, the fact of the matter is this, that if you have a smartphone or a tablet or a laptop or a desktop computer, you have within your palm or on your desk information that would have taken you 30 years of learning at university. So this has turned us, each one of us, to a professor over and over again. Don't be left behind. So make sure that you are able to use the different search engines there are to get all the information that you need. Google Chrome is an example. Make sure you do. Firefox browser is another one. Microsoft Edge. All these are search engines, and there could be a couple other that can help you to keep abreast and to learn about the world around you. All you need to do is go, and it shows you search here, you know, the glass, and tells you search, and you just need to type a few words, and there you will have a populated list of all the information that you need, and you'll be spoiled for choice. It is for you to decide this is what I'm going to read, but about all, they will be saying about the same thing. They'll give you the information. So know about the world around you, and this will make it easier for you to remember. So don't be confounded by everything that you come across. Learn about it, and then you'll be able to comprehend easily, and in that way be able to encode the information, store it, and be able to retain and recall it. So there we go. 7 tidbits. Find the motivation, have the intent to remember, then be active. We learn how to learn in short bits of time by encoding and storing that information in short bursts. You'll be able to remember it better. Then be active, be proactive by taking notes or making notes and having how to go over them if you are a student. Improve your vocabulary, and most of all, learn about the world around you. So there we go. Improve your memory like me. Have a strong memory. It serves you very, very well. Before we end, I remind you to like, subscribe, and comment. I would love that. Bye for now. Wait for the next one.